Please join me in officially starting session with the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before you all sit down, we have a proclamation. Do you want to just sit?
No, I'll come with you.
You can? Okay, good.
This will be the first one.
Good.
Watch the speed bump you're in.
Yeah, I'll go. Judith is going to catch me.
I am.
Okay.
I'm watching
okay?
that. Oh my gosh. Awesome.
Cindy? You Oh my gosh.
Here too. I don't know why, but everyone had to pull together. Come on, everybody.
We have a great representation.
Good morning,
Hey.
Bob. How you doing?
Hi, Ed. Fellow retiree.
Nice to see you again. Good to see you.
Get back here out of the way.
Oh my goodness.
It's a whole,
Entourage.
yes.
Okay, I'm scared, especially by this guy.
Are you giving out money this morning?
Apparently. It's like, oh my gosh. We have a proclamation this morning. It's for Elder Abuse Awareness Day in Clermont County. It's whereas Clermont County's more than 30,000 older adults will increase in number by 120% between 2010 and 2020 and deserve to live safely with dignity. Whereas with the increase of the elder population, abuse to adults aged 60 and older has become more prevalent in our communities. Whereas elder adults of all socioeconomic, racial, and ethnic backgrounds may be targets of abuse, neglect, or exploitation which occurs in families, long-term care centers, and communities. And whereas in 2015 there were 225 reported allegations of abuse, neglect, or exploitation of elder adults in Clermont County. Whereas protecting Clermont County's elder adults is a community responsibility and it is imperative that communities work together to help reduce and prevent abuse, neglect, and exploitation. Whereas Clermont Senior Services serves as an advocate for the elderly and encourages all citizens to watch for signs of abuse, neglect, or exploitation of elder adults and report it to the Department of Job and Family Services. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the Board of Clermont County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim June 15th, 2016 as Elder Abuse Awareness Day in Clermont County and encourage citizens to participate in community efforts to support and improve the safety and well-being of older adults and secure their right to live free of abuse, neglect, and exploitation. Signed by the Board of County Commissioners, myself, David Jubel, and Ed Humphrey. So Cindy, on behalf of the board, I want to present this to you.
Thank
And I'm
you
sure
very
that you
much.
want to say a few words.
Do have a few words. Oh. Thank you very much. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank
Thank
you. Would like to just say a couple of things, especially as we approach World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, which is Wednesday, June 15th. And in addition to, as Commissioner Proud was mentioning, the increase in the number of seniors in our county rather exponentially, so does the level of need increase. And it's not any different, sadly, in cases of abuse, self-abuse, neglect, self-neglect, and financial exploitation of truly some of the most vulnerable in our county, and that would be our older adults. And it's a horrific crime, and it happens often. And just to illustrate that a little bit, in 2008, there were 124 reports of elder abuse, neglect, or exploitation that were made right here in Clermont County. And we have more than doubled that number since 2008. It continues to grow as the population grows, as so many things grow, even the opiate addiction problem that we're all very much aware of, which is really the direct cause for why we're seeing so much of the financial exploitation. The good news in Clermont County is that we now have we've always been unified. That's the great part about Clermont County, being unified. But formally so, particularly for this cause. And we have a large group of representatives of various agencies who all have a stake, have a concern, have an interest in the well-being of older adults and in these cases of adult protective services. And they've come together and we've established a group. It's an interdisciplinary team, and these are being established all over the state of Ohio, which is very exciting to know that we're all working very closely together. It is to bring together community partners to better serve older adults who are being abused, neglected, and exploited. And it's by addressing the gaps. And we're doing it with two teams. One is a case review team, and the other is an education and outreach team. And you'll be hearing much more from them as time goes on, because that's their function, is to alert the county. You see Sheriff Rodenberg here today and representatives from the Sheriff's Department, and there are a number of representatives from other law enforcement agencies that are involved in CAPS is the name of it. It's the Community Advocacy for the Protection of Seniors. That's the group in Clermont County that's comprised of these fine folks and about 20 others who come together on a monthly basis and work together to address this really horrific crime and how we can all have an impact on that. So as we approach World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, think about next Wednesday wearing purple. Anytime next week wearing purple, and if someone says, "Oh, like the purple, why are you wearing purple?" Well, it's a good way of being able to share how important it is that people are able to report those cases. Judy Eschman is here with us from the Department of Job and Family Services, as well as Karen Shira with the Board of Mental Health and Recovery. And all of us together are working hard to raise that awareness. If you see something, if you see a case that you think might fit in abuse, self-abuse, neglect, self-neglect, and financial exploitation, report it. And you do so by reporting it to the Clermont Department of Job and Family Services. 732-7173 is the number you want to call, and you're not making a judgment. You're simply reporting your observations, and then they'll be calling Clermont Senior Services, and the investigators at Clermont Senior Services follow up with that. So this is just a little bit of a representation of the people who are working hard within that team. And I, on behalf of Clermont Senior Services, thank them, thank the commissioners for, bringing even more attention and awareness to this very serious crime. And thank you for having us today.
Cindy, how much work do you all do with Pro Seniors?
We do a lot. Actually, Pro Seniors is a member of CAPS. And Mary Day, who is with Pro Seniors, she's sort of taken a lead role with the education and outreach team.
Good.
Yeah, so they're very, very involved.
Do you all still train ombudsmen to go into nursing homes?
They actually train them. Pro Seniors,
Okay.
The ombudsman program goes through Pro Seniors, and that's where they're trained. And they go into nursing homes to investigate situations of abuse or neglect, especially in financial exploitation.
Good.
Yeah, work closely with them. So,
Good looking group. How about a group picture in front?
great. Yeah. All right.
Go ahead, lady. Judy, go ahead. Gentlemen, after you. You go get the picture. Come on.
Take the proclamation.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about.
They say no brains, no mistakes. Look sincere still. Here we go.
Okay.
One, two, three, and one more. 1, 2. Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, neighbor, how are you?
Purple last week, somebody told me.
Okay, thank you.
I have to come buy some.
Always nice to see you.
Oh. Yeah.
Prince.
Better on this side than I am the other side. Well, out of my way, big time. Okay,
Don't miss the chair. That would not be good.
I don't want to miss the chair.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Scratchy.
Great guy.
Yeah. It'd be a deputy sheriff.
What's that?
Position, be deputy sheriff.
And his son-in-law, now the new deputy sheriff. All right, I do believe we have introduction of new employee. Bob?
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Bob Sander, HR. Terry, come on up. This is Terry Oosley, who's the HR coordinator, and she'll be doing workers' compensation and HR. She came to us from Staffmark, which is a staffing company, employment agency, and has over 16 years' experience in workers' compensation. She's a graduate of Bethel High School and is a resident of Clermont County, currently living in Williamsburg. So her office will be on the third floor of this building, right across the hall. So Terry, you want to say a few words?
Probably not, but
Well, I wasn't prepared to do so, but I am very excited to be here with the county, and I'm looking forward to jumping right in. And I know that I'm being trained by one of the best. I can tell that already. So thank you for having me.
well, thank you. And again, welcome to the team. And Debbie, thanks for everything. I know, when's going to be your last day? 24th. Well, thanks for all the service you've given us. And you are right, you're being trained by the best.
It's the 24th of December?
Day before Christmas, yeah.
Well, again, welcome. You're in a great group. All right, we'll go to item number 2, which is Resolution 70-16 for a payment of bills in the amount of $806,575.73. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Second,
Mr. Ubel.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
aye.
Mr. Proud.
Yay. Item 3, please. Judy?
Good morning. I'm Judy Eschman, Director of Job and Family Services. Item 3 is my recommendation, with the concurrence of Stephen H. Raybold, County Administrator, to execute a contract for services by and between the County of Clermont, Ohio, and Clermont Senior Services in Batavia, Ohio, for the provision of duties related to the provision of adult protective services to senior citizens in Clermont County on behalf of the Department of Job and Family Services for the period of July 1/16 through June 30th of 2017, at an amount not to exceed $50,000, payable at the rate of $4,166.74 for the first month, and at a rate of $4,166.66 for the following 11 months, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions specified therein, and contingent upon the issuance and receipt of a purchase order required therefore.
Very timely.
Yes.
Is there a motion then to execute the contract for services with Clermont Senior Services with the contingency as recommended?
So moved,
Second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey.
aye.
Mr. Ubel.
Yes.
Mr. Proud.
Yay. Item 4, please.
Item 4 is my recommendation, with the concurrence of Stephen H. Raybold, County Administrator, to execute a purchase of service agreement by and between the County of Clermont, Ohio, and Foundations for Living on Lucas Road in Mansfield, Ohio, for the provision of residential treatment services for children referred by the Department of Job and Family Services and/or Clermont County Juvenile Court, at a rate of $216.42 per day, effective July 1 of 16 through June 30th of 17, pursuant to and compliance with the terms and conditions specified therein and contingent upon the issuance and receipt of an Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation certificate and the purchase order required therefore.
How many kids?
We have one there now.
Is there a motion then to execute the reference purchase of service agreement with the contingency as recommended?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. And 5, please.
Number 5 is my recommendation with the concurrence of Stephen H. Rabel, County Administrator, to execute Amendment Number 5 to the sub-grant agreement by and between County of Clermont, Ohio, and Easter Seals Tri-State LLC in Cincinnati, Ohio, previously ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on June 25th of 2014, subsequently amended on June 25th of 14, June 15 of 2015, and August 12 of 15, as well as extended through the extension of sub-grant agreement on June 15th of 15 and June 1st of 2016 for the provision of Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act youth services and temporary assistance for needy families summer youth employment program for eligible youth in Clermont County for Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services, the Ohio Means Jobs Clermont Division, to revise the item budget for the Workforce Innovation Opportunities Act Youth Services Program to reflect a more accurate budget based on anticipated expenses for serving youth in fiscal year 16, with no change to the total sub-grant amount as outlined in revised Exhibit A, attached thereto and made a part of, effective for 4/1/16 through 6/30/16, with all the terms and conditions of the original sub-grant agreement, amendments and extensions of agreement thereto to remain in full force and effect.
Is there a motion then to execute amendment number 5 to the reference sub-grant agreement as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. And 6, please.
6 is my recommendation with concurrence of Stephen H. Rapel, County Administrator, to amend Appendix 4.09 of the Clermont County Personnel Policy and Procedures Manual with respect to the Clermont County Classification Plan to create the positions of FCF Administrator, Class Number 39865, Pay Range D, and FCF Clinical Coordinator, Class Number 39855, Pay Range A, and FCF Wraparound Coordinator, Class Number 39844, Pay Range A, and FCF Wraparound Facilitator, Class Number 39843, Pay Range 11, and to revise the table of organization for the Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services as outlined below in Exhibit A, attached thereto and made a part thereof, to add 9 full-time positions and 4 internships, abolish 1 vacant position, and reclassify 1 position, with said changes resulting in an overall increase to the full-time staffing level from 218 to 226 positions effective 6/8/16, and further to authorize the update of the appropriate internet links and appendices accordingly. So we have adding, 5 different classifications for a total of 7 individuals for Family and Children First. We want to reclassify a current position titled a Learning Logistics Specialist and make it an Administrative Support Coordinator. And then we want to add 2 JFS Case Manager Supervisors 2 positions and abolish an Internal Program Evaluator.
And the reason we're adding these people?
Well, we're adding Family and Children First because effective July 1, Job and Family Services becomes the administrative agent. Currently, it's the Clermont County Mental Health and Recovery Board, so we're changing agents. And the others are basically clean up.
Is there a motion then to amend Appendix 4.09 to our Personnel Policy and Procedures Manual as recommended?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. And before you sit down, I'm going to put you on the spot. I know this afternoon we're going to be having a phone conference call on comprehensive case management, whether to opt in or opt out. Could you explain, to everyone?
Sure. The Comprehensive Case Management and Employment Program is a state-mandated program that Ohio is rolling out. It is to provide intensive case management to some of our hardest-to-serve individuals, trying to get them to self-sufficiency. The Department of Labor is responsible for the administration of workforce dollars. The Ohio Department of Job and Family Services is responsible for temporary assistance for needy families, or TANF dollars or funding. So the Department of Labor has said to ODJFS, the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services, WIOA dollars, or workforce dollars, were intended to be flexible, and those dollars were intended for workforce boards to decide how counties are going to use those dollars to meet the needs of the people that they serve. So you can't mandate that you're going to use WIOA dollars to support this CCMEP program. To satisfy that, workforce boards were then told, here's how we're going to fix that. Your boards are going to either opt in and say we're going to use our WIOA dollars to support this CCMEP program, or we're not, and we'll continue to do business the way we choose to locally. The flip side to that is that if your workforce investment board opts out and says, basically, we're going to use our workforce dollars how we see fit, and we're not going to use them to support CCMEP, then the additional TANF dollars that ODJFS was going to also add to that pot of money for counties to use will not be available to counties. But counties still have to run the CCMEP program. So come July 1, every county in Ohio is still responsible for the outcomes of the CCMEP program. The question is, will we have additional dollars to do it or not? So opting out means we won't be using our WIOA dollars to support that program specifically. It also means that Clermont will not have an opportunity to draw down $1.3 million in TANF funding to support those customers as well. So that's the difference.
Yeah, and actually, I said with the workforce board, there's a teleconference to discuss whether to opt in and opt out of the 3 counties. It's a 3-county decision. So we are more inclined to opt in so we can draw down the 1.3. But I believe the other 2 counties are inclined to opt out.
And the difference is that we don't always spend our WIOA dollars, so sometimes there's dollars to return. We spend all of our dislocated worker dollars and all of our adult funding. But the rules for working with youth have to be from low-income families, and they have to have specific barriers, which exclude a lot of the population that you typically would want to use your youth dollars for. So in the 3-county area, we have a hard time spending all of our youth dollars. But TANF is very flexible. And we're using TANF through the TANF Summer Youth Employment Program to support that same population of youth that may or may not have those barriers because we don't have all those criteria that they have to jump through. So this year we have almost 160 kids approved to work the summer program through Easter Seals, and we're using TANF dollars. So obviously in Clermont, we very much would like to opt in because we have a program that we've grown over the last 3 years that is very successful. We're working with 43 employer sites to put kids to work, and youth, when I say kids, youth in this program are ages 14 to 24. So they're not all kids. They're just the emerging workforce. So we very much in Clermont County, from an OMJ perspective, would like to opt in because we can use that additional $1.3 million to continue to grow this program and capture and continue to work with youth. But again, it's an area decision. It's one decision for all 3. With or without the money, we still have to run the program, and JFS is still responsible for the outcomes.
So in all probability, we'd have less youth enrolled if we just had to do WIOA dollars.
Yes.
Yeah, I spoke with a commissioner from one of the other counties, and they said that they are going to opt out. And so I think the other county is planning on opting out because they said they don't care about the little carrot as far as the additional TANF dollars. They think the strings that come attached are too much, and they don't want to be liable for that. So that's the dilemma. We might lose on this one. But, well, thank you for that.
Thanks, Bob.
All right, item 7, please. Lyle.
Good morning, I'm Lyle Bloom, Director with the Water Resources Department, and item number 7 is a recommendation to authorize the release of a maintenance bond that provided surety for the installation of a water main extension to serve the following subdivision and to accept said water main extension into the county waterworks system pursuant to the Clermont County Water Resources Department rules and regulations. And this is for the reserves at Liberty Crossing Subdivision, Section 4 in Union Township, and the bond amount is $2,600.
Is there a motion then to authorize the release of the reference maintenance bond and to accept the extension to the county system as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. 8, please.
Item number 8 is a recommendation to adopt resolution number 71-16 determining to make improvements relative to the construction, operation, and maintenance of the collection system rehabilitation 2016 project located in Batavia and Union Townships, designated as project number 6402-62006, and in conformance with the detailed plans, specifications, and estimates of costs and financing, all of which shall be paid from one or more of any combination of the wastewater replacement and improvement fund, wastewater capital improvement fund, any portion of any federal or state loan or grant, should such become available, and or by the issuance of notes or bonds pursuant to section 133.08 of the Ohio Revised Code, and payable from revenues derived from sewer rates and charges levied for the operation of the Clermont County wastewater system. And subsequent thereto, to approve the request to advertise for bids pursuant to the plans and specifications, and to authorize the clerk of the board to place a legal notice in a newspaper of general circulation beginning on Thursday, June 16th, 2016. Schedule a non-mandatory pre-bid meeting on Thursday, July 14th, 2016 at 10 a.m. with bids to be received until 2:00 p.m. local time on Thursday, July 21st, 2016 here in the Office of Board of County Commissioners, where they will be publicly open and read aloud shortly thereafter, and the legal notice will also be posted on the county's website. And this is for lining and rehabilitation of about 21,200 feet of our collection system. That would include, again, lining, cured in place lining of the sewer main itself, lining of the manholes, and then lining of the sewer laterals that are connected to the sewer, and installation of cleanouts if they don't already exist at each of those.
Do you want to explain when you say lining?
Well, it's a trenchless way of repairing the existing sewer. In some cases, the sewer is either concrete or asbestos pipe that's deteriorated due to hydrogen sulfide gases. So we can go in without actually having to physically dig up the sewer and replace it. We can line it and restore its useful life. And then one section of this also is old vitrified clay pipe that has had a lot of roots come in through each of the joints, and by lining that, that'll eliminate the roots from being able to get into the pipe and create blockages.
Lining with plastic, I guess, right?
Yes, it's a polyethylene, polyethylene pipe.
All right. Excuse me, is there a motion to adopt resolution 71-16 and to also approve the request advertised for bids and to place a legal notice in the paper of general circulation as recommended?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. 9, please.
Item number 9 is a recommendation to adopt resolution number 72-16 declaring the necessity to construct improvements to the Clermont County waterworks system for project number 6401-60132, consisting of constructing, maintaining, and operating the Plum Street Water Partition Project located in Goshen Township, and as more particularly described in the detailed plans, specifications, estimates of cost and financing, and tentative assessments, which are on file in the Office of the Clermont County Water Resources Department at 4400 Haskell Lane, Batavia, where they may be examined by all persons interested, and to authorize the clerk of the board to place a legal notice in a newspaper of general circulation for 2 consecutive weeks beginning on June 16, 2016, to publish the date, time, and place designated by the Board of County Commissioners where endorsements of or objections to the construction and financing of the proposed improvements will be heard pursuant to Chapter 6103 of the Ohio Revised Code. And the public hearing is scheduled for 10:30 a.m. on Wednesday, July 13th, 2016, and will be here in this office of the Board of County Commissioners, 101 East Main Street, Batavia. And the legal notice will also be posted on the county's website. And this is for construction of about 854 feet of 6-inch water main to benefit 7 properties. 4 of those properties would be assessed for the public improvements. And the assessments, the per parcel assessments right now are estimated at $9,660, And then there's 3 properties that are currently not served by water, that do not have water. And they could have their system capacity fee and meter fees included in the assessment. So their total assessments would be estimated at $12,440.
The same thing as far as they can place it on their property tax
Those can be
for
assessed
20 years?
20 years, and those are transferable. If they sell the property, that assessment could go with the new property owner.
Is there a motion then to adopt resolution number 72-16 and also placing a legal notice in the newspaper and determining the date, time, and location as recommended for the public hearing?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. Anyway,
Mr.
that's
Ubel?
still yay.
Sorry.
I haven't changed my mind. Yay.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Item 10, please.
Item 10 is a recommendation of Pat Munger, County Engineer, with my concurrence to execute record plat number 629-2966 for replats of lots in Locust Lake subdivision in Pierce Township.
Is there a motion then to execute the referenced record plat as recommended?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. 11, please.
Item 11 is my recommendation to adopt resolution number 73-16, resolving to endorse the 2016 Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy prepared by the Ohio Valley Regional Development Commission, and resolving to authorize the County of Clermont to participate in the Ohio Valley Regional Development Commission for fiscal year 2017, and to remit the sum of $36,355, which represents the share of the funding for the County of Clermont relative to on and after 1/1/17, further resolving to support the Ohio Valley Regional Development Commission's Economic Development District Planning Partnership Investment Grant Program with the United States Department of Commerce, Economic Development Administration, for planning grant funds for the annual performance period of 1/1/17 through 12/31/17.
Is there a motion then to adopt resolution number 73-16 as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Enthusiastically, yay.
I'm sorry?
Enthusiastically, yay.
Yes.
My last one I get to do for them. Item 12, please.
Item 12 is my recommendation to adopt resolution 74-16, resolving to appoint the following members to serve on the Clermont County Transportation Improvement District Board of Trustees in their official capacity as the current incumbents of their respective offices as outlined below for a 2-year term effective 6/21/16 through 6/20/18. This is pursuant to section 554002A and C sub 2 of the Ohio Revised Code. We have Jeff Wright, Township Administrator for Miami Township, Ken Geis, Township Administrator for Union Township, Pat Munger, County Engineer, Clermont County Engineers, Andy Kuchta, Director of the Clermont County Department of Community and Economic Development, and Jeff Likens, President and CEO of Likens Energy Solutions.
Is there a motion then to adopt resolution number 74-16 as recommended?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. 13, please.
15 is the recommendation to authorize myself to execute an engagement letter by and between the County of Clermont and the law firm of Frost Brown Todd Attorneys out of Columbus, Ohio, formed on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners, Clermont County, in concert with an entry authorizing employment of outside legal counsel filed with the clerk with the Common Pleas Court, January 29, 2016, to serve as special counsel of the Board of County Commissioners, and as it relates to the Freedom of Information Act FOIA request submitted to the United States Environmental Protection Agency relative to the Seacoast International Incorporated, the Albert Roads facility in Williamsburg Township, at a cost not to exceed $10,000 pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein, and contingent upon the release of the purchase order required therefore in concert with requisition dated 5/24/2016.
Is there a motion then to authorize Steve Raybold, County Administrator, to execute the engagement letter with the contingency as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay.
Steve, is the 10,000, is that just for the next year, or how long is that
That 10,000 is for this year,
for this year?
and in this, specifically in this case, just to pursue the Freedom of Information Act. We had submitted our normal request for information from the federal EPA, and a number of items were declined to be delivered to us. And we inquired as to why that was, and the answer we got back was not sufficient in our minds. So we've asked the attorneys to file an official request, which forces it to go to a review board to identify why we're not getting that information.
Why would we need a special motion for that? Doesn't Frost Brown normally handle our Seacoast?
Yes, they do, but just specifically, it's just for that one FOIA request. Back in January, when the board passed a resolution to, in concert with Common Pleas Court, for outside counsel, we authorized the use of the outside counsel for that. This is specifically for this event.
All right, Suki, financials.
This is Suki Sheets with the Office Management and Budget, and we have a couple financials for the week. We have a retirement, so we need to increase the appropriation in juvenile court magistrate salary group by $29,054.55. And for that same retirement, we're going to do a budget transfer from the juvenile court magistrate salaries to the juvenile court retirement payout, $436.38.
Is there a motion then to approve the supplemental appropriations and the budget transfer as recommended?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. Thanks. Training and travel, 15, please.
We have the Clermont County Court of Common Pleas, Judge Haddad, 4 days, Newark, Ohio, for the Ohio Common Pleas Judges Association 2016 Summer Conference, not to exceed $952.52. County Sheriff's Office, Greg Moran, 5 days. Quantico, Georgia, Federal Law Enforcement Training Center and Internal Affairs Investigations Training, not to exceed $128. Department of Job and Family Services, Judy Eschman, 1 day, Westchester, Ohio, for the Area 12 Workforce Development Board meeting, not to exceed $38.34. And that's it.
Is there a motion then to approve the training and travel requests as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. Personnel actions?
Water Resources Department, we have William Byer, WRD Supervisor, termination retirement effective 6/17. Corey Collins, WRD Operator, probation, end of probation effective 5/18. Ryan Hancock, WRD Operator, probation, end of probation effective 5/18. In the Information Systems Department, Mark Brown, Systems Analyst 1, a new hire to a vacant position. The agenda says it's 7/6 of 2016. It should be 7/5 of 2016.
Is there a motion then to approve the personnel actions as amended?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud? Sorry, Mr. Ubel?
Here.
Yes.
Here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. I believe we have a few add-ons.
Yes, sir, we do.
Which one do you want to do first?
Resolution 7516.
Okay.
We have recommendation to adopt Resolution 7516 resolving to support the proposed Cincy Eastern I-75-71 bypass and the request of the Ohio Department of Transportation in cooperation with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet to initiate the development of a transportation study in concert therewith, which should include not only the alignment and estimated cost of construction, but the practicality of the need therefore, and hereby supports the immediate funding and completion of the Cincy Eastern I-75-71 bypass transportation study in cooperation with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet.
David, anything you want to?
Yeah, I'd just like to hopefully thank my fellow commissioners for agreeing to do this. And work in concert with Kentucky, it's already approved this, so.
Well, with that, is there a motion then to adopt resolution number 75-16 as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. Next.
Next, I have the recommendation of John Cascaden, Director of Department of Public Safety Services, with my concurrence to authorize Commissioner Proud, President of the Board, to execute the Mobilecom site license agreement by and between the County of Clermont and Mobilecom, Cincinnati, Ohio, for the lease of premises and radio communication equipment at the Mount Repose Tower site located at 5956 Buckwheat Road, Milford, Ohio, in Miami Township, to be utilized as a component of the Clermont County Emergency Communication System. This will be effective for a period of 10 years, commencing on 8/1 of 2016 through 7/31 of 2026, with the option to renew for 2 5-year extensions at the rate of $2,492 per month, for the first year and an annual increase of 3% thereafter, pursuant to and compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein, and contingent upon the release of a purchase order required therefore. As I've mentioned to the board now, we are in the process, and the next action is going to be to follow up on this, on putting in a new tower location. Last year, the county put in the upgraded communication system about actually a little over a year now, 13 months ago. And at the time, we were not aware that the change in technologies of the new system and the relocation of a tower site that had been at this location was going to affect the communications on some of our first responders in the northwest section of Clermont County. So we spent about a year now looking at options as to how we can not put another tower site in there. And I want to thank the user communities for the amount of support. It's been, they spent a lot of time with us. They've done a lot of work and research with us, as well as Motorola has, to assist us. And as it turns out, this is the best solution we have to get coverage in the areas that we need in a rather highly populated part of the county. So this action and the next action. This action here gets us a lease agreement to use an existing tower. So we're just leasing the space as we have in a number of our other towers. And the next action is actually to authorize the contract with Motorola to execute the contract.
Is there a motion then to execute the Mobilecom site license agreement with the contingency as recommended?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Hubel.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Proud.
Yay. And last but not least,
Also a recommendation of John Cascade, Director of Department of Public Safety Services, with my concurrence to authorize Commissioner Proud, President of the Board, to execute change order number 7 to the communication system agreement by and between the Board of County Commissioners and Motorola Solutions of Schaumburg, Illinois, previously ratified by Board of County Commissioners on 12/19/12, and amended in 8/13, 12/13, 4/14, 8/14, 3/15, and 6/15, relative to the acquisition of a county-wide mixed-mode simulcast voice radio system for Clermont County. And this action, this change order represents an increase in the amount of $1,488,002 for a total adjusted contract price to date of $8,905,492 for additions, deletions, and/or modifications thereto, and specifically identified and set forth in the Clermont County Marks SIP ID site ad change order dated May 19th of 2016 relative to the Mount Repose Tower site located in Buckwheat Road, Miami Township, all of which is to be completed on or before 6/30 of 2017 as defined therein. And this is also contingent upon the release of the purchase order required in concert with the requisition of 5/26/2016. As I just mentioned, this is the actual contract with Motorola to actually put in the system.
This will require retuning in all the other towers around,
Yes, sir, it does.
and that is included in
That
here.
is included in here.
Okay.
Correct.
is there a motion then to execute change order number 7 to the reference communications system agreement with the contingency as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Hubel.
Yes.
Mr. Proud.
Yay. We've also had a request for an executive session,
Correct, sir.
and this is pursuant to section 121.22G1 to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of one or more public employees. So motion to go into executive session under that section and for those reasons.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Hubel.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Proud.
Yay. We'll be back before 11. Again, the board has resumed its regular session. When we came out of executive session, we resumed our regular session. Again, with no decisions made. And do we have any add-ons?
Yes, I have one personnel action, sir.
Okay.
Facilities Management Department, Fleet Maintenance Division. We have Jennifer Morgan, Admin Support Coordinator, Administrative Leave, Non-Disciplinary with Pay, effective 6/6. And followed with the Jennifer Morgan, Administrative Support Coordinator, Termination, Resignation, effective 6/17.
Is there a motion to approve the referenced personnel action as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Hubel.
Yes.
Mr. Proud.
Yay. Any other add-ons at all?
Yes, sir.
Again, we'll take a 5-minute recess for the minutes to be prepared. All right, I'll let the record show that the board came out of its recess and has resumed our regular session. Gentlemen, we have the minutes from today's session in front of us, and when you're ready, I'll entertain a motion to approve today's minutes.
I think it's me. I'll make a motion to approve today's minutes from June 8th of 2016.
Second.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. And with no further business, is there a motion to adjourn today's session?
So moved.
And I'll second that.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. Thank you all. God bless.